Relatively easy games. Today was a real challenge for the SU Orangemen.
Yeah, their first big test of the season. The Orangemen, well, you'll see how it went. After the first two games of the regular season, the Orangemen 2-0, both easy wins against Lafayette and Colgate, but they weren't really tested. Well, you knew they would be today, tipping off the Big East season at the Civic Center in Providence without starting two-guard Jason Sapola. Marius Unulis, I should say, would fill in and do well. How do your fingers taste, Coach Boeheim? To the game, John Wallace and Otis Hill both had big performances here. Hill, the Jam, 6-0 Syracuse early. One of the Friars' key men, Austin Crozier, the three-ball, that cuts the lead in half. Then Hill, this time to Wallace for the Jam. 26 points for J-Dub. Now stepping outside. Wallace doing his Lawrence Moten impersonation. SU up 3 early. Former CNS star Mike Brown from out of your picture tying it at 14. SU running though. Todd Bergen using the basket as a shield. Orange up 6. Now back to the Otis Hill show from Lazara Sims. Hill puts it down 16 first half points. SU up 10 at the break. To the second, Wallace. The full court pass to Bergen. Orangemen going up 14 points, but the Friars use the 3 for the comeback. Again, it's Brown from way downtown, and then Shamgad, no, I'm not making up his name, he had 18 points, cutting the lead to 3, 75-72. After Shamgad free throw cuts the lead to 1, the Orange go back to Hill, attacking the 2-3 zone. He hits, finishing with 22 points. Again, Wallace with 26, and the Orangemen escape with a 4-point victory, 82-78 over the Friars. Also in Big East play, UConn and Boston College. Ray Allen, a huge game in the first half, 20 points, but only 2 in the second. Late in the second half. Travis Knight, the J, putting UConn up 11. Time running out, the Eagles. A huge comeback. Danya Abrams, the 3. And then Dwayne Woodward, the 3. Now Mickey Curley, younger brother of Billy, the reverse, and that makes it 61-58, UConn ahead. Now Scooney Penn, the freshman, with a drive, and that cuts it to 1. 61-60, Calhoun in trouble, but that would be as close as it gets. Deron Sheffer hits 2 free throws down the stretch to ice it, and Connecticut, the 9th-ranked team in the nation, a 1-point win over Boston College. Well, with the men on the road, the Orange women taking the spotlight in Central New York this afternoon in the finals of the Carrier Classic. Last night, SU had just an astonishing win, 101-38 over Coppin State, and today in the finals against Canisius, Coach Mariana Freeman, lots of substitutions this weekend. Kristen McCory, a big tournament for her to follow. 26 points and 12 boards in this game. She was the tournament MVP. The Orange attacking the 2-3 zone. Tandika Massimini from the short corner. SU up 29-8 midway through the first half. Then Kristen Cook, the long jumper. Big tourney for her as well. Then the Orange women go back to Massimini. 3 Orange women on the all-tournament team, Massimini, Cook, and McCory. And the ladies go away with a big win, 92-54. Locally, Lemoyne and New Haven coming off the win over Southern Connecticut yesterday. The Dolphins looking to go ahead over New Haven. Early in the first, Adam Stockwell, the nice drive, but New Haven bombing away early. Watch Kadir Nixon, the nice form. Swish to give Haven the lead. But how about Stockwell from the left corner? It's up. Bang, he hits. Then the Dolphins on the break. Rob Attini to John Tomsic. He puts it down. Then the same combo, but this time it's Tomsic to Attini with the 3. And the Dolphins in New Haven finishing up as we speak. Now, the top-tier bowl pairings will be announced soon. We already know the Fiesta Bowl will have Nebraska against Florida, that game for the national championship. As for the other two, the Orange Bowl will probably go with Notre Dame with the 3rd pick and then Florida State with the 5th. The Sugar Bowl, that will have them with the 4th and 6th picks. It'll be Virginia Tech and Texas in the Superdome. Now, the Steelers had a chance to clinch the AFC Central with a win against Houston today. It would be Pittsburgh's 3rd in 4 years. But Houston, a very hot and cold team. Could the Steelers pull it off to Three Rivers Stadium? Bill Cowher, always so low-key on the sideline, right? Not at all. His Steelers needed this game. Seconds left in the first quarter. Neil O'Donnell to Yancey Thigpen beats 4 Oiler defenders. Touchdown, Pittsburgh, 7-zip. Houston fights back, though. Former Washington Husky Chris Chandler airs it out to Chris Sanders, 76 yards, tying the game at 7. But too much O'Donnell for Houston. To former Washington Husky tight end Mark Bruner. That made it 14-7, and the Steelers go on for the win, improving to 9-5 on the year, the AFC Central Division champs. To the scoreboard, the Jets lose a tight one to the Rams, 23-20. New England, a big win over the Saints. Green Bay, a 14-point winner over Cincinnati. Carolina over Indianapolis. The Dolphins finally get a win. They improved to 7-6 on the year. Minnesota, the Vikings all over Tampa Bay. In the third quarter, Kansas City leading Oakland. Washington leading Dallas now 14-10. Philadelphia and Seattle, the Seahawks with a 10-point lead in the third. The Chargers all over the Browns. And Denver leading Jacksonville in the third quarter, 21-10. To hockey now, and in the game just finished here on WTVH, the Crunch hosting Adirondack. Syracuse trying to end its two-game losing streak, and it would be a tough game for the Crunch. Now that's a strong drink. Lonnie Bohannes back from the Canucks, putting the Crunch up early 1-0, but right after the goal, a fight. Hey, it's a hockey game. What can you expect? Then Yuri Kuznetsov with another goal soft, 2-0 Crunch in the first. But in the second, Adirondack comes back to tie it. Anders Eriksson, the shot and score, 2-2. In the third, Danny Felsner, his 13th goal of the year, and it gives the Crunch the win, 3-2. As we crunch the numbers, you'll see the comeback win for Syracuse. They improved to 15-11-1 on the year. Their next game, again against Adirondack on the road. Now finally in tennis, the Davis Cup in Moscow, Russia. Andre Agassi there just watching, but Pete Sampras against Yevgeny Kafelnikov. And Sampras in the far court with a nice volley. He would go on to win the Davis Cup and win it for the Americans. It's their first title since 1992 in straight sets. Sampras a winner, 6-2, 6-4, ouch, and 7-6. So the United States, their first Davis Cup title in 3 years. And the Orange Men, a big win for the basketball team against Providence.
And we're glad about that.
Yes, we are.
Thanks very much, Steve. Straight ahead from Happy Days to direct.
That figure wrong. That's actually
just about the same as our salary here.
Yeah, no kidding. Coach Boeheim earned his salary tonight. Wow, close game.
The close game, the Orange Men, tough one against Providence, but you know, pulling it out in the end. You figure with 3 of the top 10 teams in the nation in the Big East, Syracuse will have a tough time in league play, but just how tough? It's hard to judge the Orangemen after their first 2 games, but today SU with its first big test at Providence on the road. Jim Boeheim says, I wonder what my fingers taste like. Yep, not bad. To the game, John Wallace to Otis Hill. Big games from both of the big men for Syracuse. The lay-in there, and Syracuse leading early. One of the big men for the Friars, Austin Crozier, the 3 there cutting the lead in half to 6-3. Now it's Hill to Wallace for the jam. 26 points for the senior, and now stepping outside, showing the range, putting the Orangemen up 3. Former CNS star Mike Brown from out of your picture, tying the game at 14. SU running though. Todd Bergen, the reverse. Orange up 6. And now back to the Otis Hill show. Lazar Sims, the dish, and Hill puts it down. 16 first half points for Hill. SU up 10 at the break. In the second, the Orange running again. It's Todd Bergen. Orangemen up 14, but the Friars come back from the 3. Brown hits. And then Shamgad, yes, that's his real name. He had 18 points, cutting the lead to 3, 75-72. After a Shamgad free throw makes it 75-74. Otis Hill connects from inside, finishing with 22, a career high for Otis, and the Orangemen get the win, 82-78. Wallace 26, Marius Yanulis 10 points starting for Jason Sapola. Checking the scores, Ray Allen 22 points for the Huskies as they pull it out over Boston College. Massachusetts a win over Florida. Maryland beating George Washington by 17. Arkansas, a real nail-biter against Alcorn State. And locally, Lemoyne 72 over New Haven 69. Adam Stockwell 24 points for the Dolphins. Well, with the men on the road, the Orange women had a chance to impress local hoops fans in the finals of the Carrier Classic at Manley Fieldhouse. SU walloped Coppin State last night, 101-38. Today, hosting Canisius in the finals. And for Coach Freeman, plenty of substitutions this weekend. Krista McCrory didn't have to sub much. Watch the follow here. She had 26 points, 12 rebounds, getting the tourney MVP. The Orange attacking the 2-3 zone of Canisius. Tandika Massimini from the short corner, putting SU up 29-8 midway through the first. Yikes. Then Kristen Cook from outside, the long J. She was on the all-tourney team, as was Massimini. The jumper there, 3 Orange women on the all-tournament team, Massimini, Cook, and McCrory, and the Orange women, a huge win, 92-54, winning the Carrier Classic. To hockey now, and in the game seen earlier here on WTVH, the Crunch hosting Adirondack. Syracuse trying to end its 2-game losing streak in front of a good crowd at the War Memorial.
Things that go on around here, like
now that's a stiff drink. Lonnie Bohannes back from the major leagues, puts it in, 1-0, Crunch up, and You score, you get in a fight. Just the way hockey goes these days. But the Crunch would go up 2-0. Yuri Kuznetsov with a goal-off. Crunch out on top, but Adirondack ties it in the second. 2 goals, including this one by Anders Eriksson. Game tied, but Denny Felsner crossing over and putting it in, his 13th goal of the year. And as we crunch the numbers, you see that the Syracuse Crunch come out with the win, scoring 1 in the third. They play Adirondack again Wednesday. Now, the Bills have been the surprise team of the year in the NFL at 8-4 on top of the AFC East standings. But today, you couldn't really ask for a tougher opponent. The San Francisco 49ers, defending champs 8-4 as well, and really heating up with Steve Young back in the huddle. We go to San Francisco, and not Candlestick Park, but
They will go for the extra point in the 2nd and 7.
3 Summit Park. Steve Young hitting Brett Jones, 5 of 5 on the opening drive for Young, and that would set up a Derek Lavelle touchdown. But then the Bills come back. First behind the defense, Bruce Smith, the sack there, and then the offense. Jim Kelly tipped and caught. Are you kidding me? Bills go up 10-7. But then watch the Gary Plummer. Bills about to score, right? No. Fumble, picked up, and it's going to go all the way. 98 yards for the touchdown. San Francisco rolling from there. They lead at 27-17 in the fourth. Now to Pittsburgh. Bill Cowher always active on the sidelines. The Steelers needed this game. Neil O'Donnell to Yancey Thigpen beating 4 Oiler defenders for the touchdown, 7-0. Houston fighting back, though. Former Washington Husky Chris Chandler airing it out to Chris Sanders, 76 yards, tying the game at 7. But the Steelers, if they win, they get the AFC Central title, and O'Donnell finds former Washington Husky Mark Bruner, his tight end, for the touchdown, and they win it 21-7, getting the AFC Central. We check the scores. Chris Miller suffering another concussion, his 5th in 15 games for the Rams. Tough for him. The Saints 5-1 in their last 6 games. Brett Favre in the Green Bay win 3 touchdowns. The Panthers twice as many victories as any other expansion team. They're 6-7. Marino a touchdown with 11 seconds left to Irving Fryer in the Dolphins win. Kansas City a winner over Oakland. The Redskins 2-0 against the Cowboys, 2-9 versus the rest of the league. Seattle a winner over the Eagles. San Diego all over the Browns, 5 straight losses for Cleveland. And John Elway 4 touchdowns for the Broncos. Now the top tier bowl pairings have been announced, and it worked out just like we had predicted here at 6. Not that it took a brain surgeon to figure it out. It's number 1 versus number 2 in the Fiesta Bowl. Nebraska against Oklahoma. Notre Dame will play 9th-ranked Florida State, I can say it, in the Orange Bowl. And Virginia Tech, the Hokies head to New Orleans. They'll play Texas in the Sugar Bowl. Now in the NBA, the New York Knicks had a chance to host the supposedly up-and-coming Washington Bullets. They've got Chris Webber back, Juwan Howard playing well, and they're still below 500. New York, though, having a pretty good season. Chris Webber, one of the most talented, but also one of the cockiest players in the league. The Bullets could have used his effort on the court. Juwan Howard, the brick. Patrick Ewing leading the break to Derek Harper. 18-point lead for the Knicks, already only in the second quarter. Then Charles Smith, everyone getting involved in the action for New York. He had 15. Bullets looking like a YMCA team here. Mace with his stuff. Led New York with 19 points. Knicks up 72-51 at that point. Patrick Ewing would get ejected from the game with just 11 points, but the Knicks, no problem anyway. They go on for a big win over the Bullets, 107-83. And finally, checking the NBA scores, the Grizzlies 15 straight losses. Yikes. Billy Owens 19 points in the Heat win. Chris Mills 22 points for Cleveland. Orlando and Portland in the 4th, and Indiana and the Lakers in the 3rd. So a busy day in sports, and the Orangeman basketball team gets their first win in the Big East.
Great news. Thanks very much, Steve.
Straight ahead, it's a battle of the minds as some young chess players check out their competition. Stay with us.